This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
From what day you may find out, certain people not like me. Everyone got us bag a thing now. Makes true me I do it like Nike, but me not fear no guy now. No matter how hard them a spite me just a go and do me thing now. Me just a do it like Nike. 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 Them want poison me, throw me thing up. Pass me and them girlfriend a link up. Dog, where you did that? When
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by AML Foods Limited, the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board, BTC, Burger King, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, Dunkin' Donuts, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, Freeport News, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, the Ministry of Agriculture Marine Resources, Monty Johnny's, First Seas Islands Games, Scotiabank, and Tropical Gyros.
From what day you may find out, certain people don't like me. Everyone focus bag a thing now. Begs through me, I do it like Nike.
And good afternoon, everybody. Good, happy Monday. This is Pearly filling in for Talking Heads for Naughty. Today is so good to be back with you. Oh my goodness. Wonderful. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I mean, I had a pretty cool weekend. Dodgers won. Interesting stuff seeing happening over the weekend. See Gombe, see the former prime minister doing that shuffle dance at Gombe over the weekend. That was kind of cool. Looked good for 80, boy. It really looks good. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know it was some madness today with back to school. I think most of the government schools went back today. There's a couple not quite ready, so I guess they'll be back tomorrow and then later down. But there has to be something. We go through this every single year. You know, we can't put a program together where we could just get it right. And I'm just, this minister, every time I hear something going wrong. So I wish we could get a proper program that we could get these schools done right. But we'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there. So if you want to call in, it's 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. BTC powered text line 422-4796. Just before we get to our guests, let's see what's in the papers this morning. This is interesting. Review law on abortion. Dame Anita suggests decriminalization of abortion, if only in certain cases. But this is going to be a lot of talk. Bethel seeks to make case against marital rape law. Ministry targeting students affected by learning loss. And a sad day in our media business, we lost a colleague in Steve Jorge. He died. Steve Jorge dies at 59 years old after a short illness. May his soul rest in peace and rise in glory. Business Action Cruise Industry to release 56 new ships by 2028. 56! Royal Caribbean International's Euterpia of the Sea will be on all Bahamian cruise, which is kind of cool. MasterCard wants an MOU, that's Memorandum of Understanding with government and their future. MasterCard is doing some good stuff here. Firm wants SCB to implement dual approach to licensing digital asset firms. Y'all know this gas going back up, right? Rubis is $5.94, Esso $5.98, and Shell $5.98. I think it was $5.71 this last week at Rubis, so gas going up. Summertime. Let's read this quick text, and we can get these two quick texts, and we can get to our good day. We are learning that the government will announce the cabinet shuffle this week. We ain't learning nothing because the government officially announced that, all due respect. Certain other entities put it out there, and it might happen this week, and that'll be wonderful. At least we know all the anticipation will be finished. But it's not a certainty. It is not a certainty. On good day, you, Mr. Pearl, need to get a fixed time on Guardian Radio. Every day you on. The good Lord says nothing before it's time. Anyway, today is Monday. Today we talk to Roscoe Thompson. We see what's happening in Abaco. Mr. Producer, is Roscoe there? Roscoe.
I'm on.
How you doing,
Hey, Bernie, how are you?
I'm good, my brother. How are you doing?
Good. I have a guest with me today, Daphne DeGregory. She's the president of the Abaco Chamber of Commerce over here in Abaco, also a business owner.
Wonderful.
I'm not feeling too well today, but I just wanted to, touch base and then let her carry on with the rest of the show.
Okay.
She's very informative. The only thing I really want to...
But before you go on, it is nothing too serious, are you?
No, it's just my back. My back issue's been having some medication that's got me feeling...
At our age, there's certain things we can't do anymore, Roscoe.
No, the only thing I wanted to really touch base on was this... and I know Daphne will probably touch base on it in a minute, but I wanted to touch base on the cannabis bill.
Yes.
That I saw they have implemented.
Well, it's not implemented. It's just
implemented, but they're
out for public consultation.
It out there, suggestions and want input, and what they things that they're looking to decriminalize and. Certain instances like that. And I just really hope they take a real good look at it, because I am for the legalization of cannabis throughout the Bahamas, not just for medical, but also for recreational. I think it needs to be decriminalized, that young Bahamians that are found smoking a joint, it goes on their record, and, they can't go to the States because of one mistake they made. My point being is it's funny how they now have brought up about cannabis to try, and I believe it's to deflect from BPL and everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks. They're trying to make it and which I think it's long overdue. Do not get me wrong.
I'm agreeing with you.
But so much negativity has been going on under this administration. From the R.M. Bailey School to BPL to the hedge fund to
immigration
to whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden now they introduce cannabis, and I'll be honest, I think it's a good thing, but I don't think it's going to help them as much as they think it is, and deflect, because Bahamians are realizing, hey, you're hurting us in our pocket right now, and when your BPL bill is getting up to what almost your mortgage is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got issues, and I say this, Miss Daphne might enlighten you a little more, but we saw our bill go from, and I've said this on Naughty, from $250 to $500 to over $600. And
I'm hearing a lot of that.
Yeah, we're not using that much more kilowatts, or that much more. Whatever they want to call it, we're not using that much more units of.
I understand. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And it's just really frustrating. And I know it's something that's is frustrating for all Bahamians and still here, in Abaco. But it's just really funny. That's the only thing I wanted to say, because I know Miss Daphne, she's a chamber. She'll be able to let you in on a lot that's going over in here on the business side, as well as she will touch on and ask. And she did mention it to me. And as I said at local government level, I said, I have no issue. She wants to touch on our drainage issue here, and different things. Org is coming over here this week. To do some seminars and focus groups, which is very good. She will get into that. But I just wanted to, say my little piece, because I don't want you. Last time you were on, people said I complained too much. I look at it as keeping people informed.
I look at it as keeping people. If we can't sweep it under the rug. If it's something wrong, we got to say what's wrong. So if you want to look at it, fix it.
And I think I think you know me well enough, and so does Miss Daphne DeGregory. They know me well enough. It doesn't matter who's in power.
Yes.
I'm gonna speak when I say what I have to say. I know you. If I can hold it on my shoulders, and I got thick skin, I hope you can too.
I'm good.
But it's funny. It's funny right now, and I'll say this, and then let Daphne take over. It's funny. the last time we really heard Ryan Pinder was on right after FTX, and he went real quiet for
Yes.
a bunch of months there, and now he's kind of come out of his shell a little bit with this cannabis thing.
It's going to be the topic, but the Rastafarian community already complaining and say it's inadequate.
And I'm gonna say to my good friend, Mr. as they would call him, Mr. Ryan the Lion Pinder, you need to just go back in your corner for right now, because there's more pressing issues that need to be dealt with than trying to deviate from the cannabis bill. We have a lot more issues going on here in the Bahamas that need to be addressed with your administration right now and how things are going.
And
with that being said, Mr. Purley, I will let you go. I will keep my mouth shut and let Mr. Gregory take over.
You say, is it MISS the Gregory or MRS the Gregory?
Mr. Gregory. Miss
Mrs.
Sorry.
Mrs. Okay. Now, I went to school with some de Gregorys, and namely Kim de Gregory.
My cousin.
Okay.
Well, I'll leave y'all to go at it.
Okay, I got you.
Purley,
Okay, super.
Miss Daphne is a great person, and she's been on the show before with keeping reports, and I'm glad she came back, because she is the president of our Chamber of Abaco, our Chamber of Commerce here in Abaco, and she can keep people, rather than them hearing my voice every week, give somebody new and energetic on the radio.
And I'm sure she's much cuter than you as well.
Oh, much.
Welcome, Daphne.
You guys got to stop now.
welcome, Daphne. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, happy to be with you today. I might have to hold on. I might have to relocate. I live on a farm, so there's a bunch of equipment going on the outside. So let me just relocate, and so we can have a clearer conversation. But you were about to ask a question.
But you perked my interest. Is that you live on a farm. What do you grow?
We own the Abaco Neem Farm.
Okay.
So we grow neem trees, and we have no particular interest in growing any other herb at this point. But and hopefully whoever does get that opportunity will be doing so with great
she's watching with words.
protection. Great protection and with good intentions.
Yes. So what's happening in Abaco? I've the last time I spoke to Roscoe was about a month or so ago, and we had a very good conversation. So I'm going to ask you what's going on. What's the first thing we want to talk about this afternoon?
Basically, we want to talk about the lack of improvements in Abaco 4 years post-Dorian. Okay. I know I'm always beating on this post-Dorian business, but I have to, because we have private citizens have gone to great extent to improve businesses, reopen, readjust.
Yes.
But there are many who have abandoned their responsibility for whatever reason, and there are reasons.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, those of us who have, made the sacrifices, been able to afford, there are some persons who maybe had the right insurance, who were able to, pick up their bootstraps and move on and make improvements. Others were maybe not that fortunate, but I've had this conversation with Roscoe on local government side. They have basically, with the funding that they are allowed or provided,
budgeted, yeah.
They have exhausted what they can do at the local level. It's now become really an issue that central government needs to step in and take over. Abandoned buildings, for instance, that are sitting next to newly renovated buildings. In a hurricane season become a great threat
Yes.
to the newly renovated building. Most of the damage, or a great deal of damage that occurs during a hurricane, is from flying debris.
Yes. Yes.
People not protecting their not securing their belongings, leaving things just to fly about, become flying missiles, which are very damaging. Our building, in fact, really the only damage we had was from flying debris as a result of the hurricane. But again, if a family are having an issue, or a corporation is having an issue, and they've just abandoned heavy equipment, buildings that literally are exactly the way Dorian left them.
Wow.
4 years later, on our main street, where everybody has to pass, all our visitors, new arrivals, investors, everybody has to see, it gives a terrible reflection on the business community of Abaco,
yes.
the people of Abaco, and it is time now for central government to step in.
So what is the solution? Are we tearing these buildings down? Does the government need to go ahead and subsidize the renovation of these buildings, or put pressure on the owners to get their buildings fixed? What is the solution?
Well, the solution to me is that they need to, first of all, they should have already by this time given the owners notice to repair, remove, or be dealt with at a government level.
Okay.
The government then should go in and demolish. Most of the places I'm talking about really need to be demolished. And unfortunately, I hate to say, but these same premises, people are actually living in.
Ooh, okay.
Living in.
No
people
light,
who are homeless.
no running water, no light, or nothing.
No water, no light, no toilet, no sewage, no nothing, no windows, no nothing. Okay? And people are living in these places.
You see me making up my face like I could smell the place.
So let me just tell you, government, in my opinion, needs to demolish these buildings, put a lien on the properties. When the businesses or the families have sorted out their issues, then they can repay government for whatever the expenses were and regain their property. But as what was the number 2 tourist destination in the Bahamas, when visitors arrive here, they don't remember Dorian. They don't even know who's Dorian. What's Dorian? They don't know what Dorian is.
But
They just see that here is a community that is living without any regard to their environment.
But is
And
that,
it's not the environment we want to promote it to investors.
let me be the devil's advocate or the disgusting one or whatever you want to call me after I say this. What about saying, well, I know you said local government are basically worn out most of its resources. What about other charitable organizations, service clubs and all that, about maybe just cleaning up the front of these buildings, painting up the front, batting off the front of the building? So they have something
You
look
have
until
no
the government
idea.
get to
You
it.
have no idea. No. You have no idea. It ain't nothing about no painting up
Okay.
no front of no building.
All right.
These buildings beyond that.
Okay.
Okay. And I hate to say it, but I personally made a call to a prominent figure in our government requesting, please, to have one of these these businesses dealt with. And I hate to say, but I was told that the family were waiting for the economic environment in Abaco to improve to warrant spending the money to do so. Now,
Wow.
I only bring this up because I know that this is not a family or not a business that should need to wait.
Fair
They
enough.
made lots of money on this island when business was open and good. And I would be shocked to learn if they hadn't had insurance. But it's possible. Sometimes, people with money think they don't need insurance because they could just pay for what gets fixed, right? But that is an excuse to wait. I'm like, hold on. How do you expect the economy to improve if you are not prepared to reinvest in it yourselves?
Exactly.
I didn't get a response. I didn't
The
get a
same
response.
silence I gave was the silence you got.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, so the first issue today is that there needs to be, the government needs, or does it, or would that be DRA? I'm just asking.
Can I interject something real quick too? And I agree with Daphne, and I'm glad that she's coming from the business side of it to say it. But we also have the old government clinic that needs to be removed, and that's government owned. Letters have been presented and sent out to the various owners from local government level that need to have the derelict buildings. I know one of them on the corner there is still in probate with the courts. And I agree with Daphne 100%. Central government needs to now step in and either demolish these buildings and then put a lien against that property until they sell it or do something, because the town is starting to look really good, and then you see these dilapidated buildings. So I do just want to interject on that as I'm listening, to what she has to say. And I really appreciate her speaking up, because I did write one person, and I will tell you the comment that I got: "Don't waste local government ink on me. I'll do it when I'm ready." That was the response.
Oh boy. Well,
thank you for interjecting, Roscoe, and please stay tuned, because any points that I make that you can interject on, I appreciate it.
Okay, we're gonna take our first break, so we'll be right back. And when we come back, Daphne, we'll do something. We can talk some more things and tell me some other issues in Abaco that we need to really be looking at. So just give us a few minutes to take a break. This is Purdy filling in for Naughty on Talking Heads. We'll be right back.
What would you do with extra cash? Plan a trip.
Overhaul my wardrobe.
With CIBC First Caribbean, you can get comfy with savings on your mortgage cost. Buy or build your home or switch your mortgage to us and get up to US $1,000 off the loan application fee. Up to US $2,000 off home insurance. With up to US $10,000 towards switching costs, your pockets will be comfy too. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/get comfy for more information. Conditions apply.
Put your best foot forward this school year by shopping at John's for your back-to-school foot care needs. From toddlers to college students, have your child looking smart in a pair of Hush Puppies, Sperry, Easy, Strider brand styles, and many more. Durable and sharp, the kids will step with confidence all year. Need socks and a belt? We've got you covered. And don't forget a new backpack and lunch containers. You can find all this and more at the best prices and customer service in town at John's on Rosetta Street and Carmichael Road. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama, and let me tell you about a deal you can't afford to miss. It's the 2 Fly Free from Nassau promotion. You heard me right. 2 people can fly free from Nassau. Just go to BahamasResidence.com for all the details so you can start your vacay today. There are 10 participating islands with 35 amazing hotels to choose from. You can go to Abaco, Acklands, Andros, Bimini, Cat Island, Eleuthera, Harbour Island, Exuma, Long Island, or San Salvador. There's so much to do on all these islands, you just may want to go to a few. And why not? With the 2 Fly Free from Nassau deal, it's like getting an island for free. Take your family. Go with friends. Arrange a fun, out-of-the-box business meeting or retreat. Your co-workers or employees will love you. Or go on an adventure with the guys. Or a girl's getaway from the guys. Or a romantic trip for 2. Whatever you do, you'll thank me. Visit BahamasResidence.com for more information. That's BahamasResidence.com.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. Buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Want to reach your Grand Bahama customers? Then call Barefoot Marketing at 827-4578 or message them for ad rates via their Facebook page. Advertising opportunities now include classified ads too. Keep up with all the latest Grand Bahama news in the Nassau Guardian newspaper every Tuesday.
Ready for something very delicious this summer? Introducing the new Dunkin' Strawberry Cheesecake Iced Latte. Enjoy the bold flavors of Dunkin' Espresso and sweet, luscious strawberry, all topped with velvety whipped cream and irresistible cookie crumbles for a match made in latte heaven. Make Dunkin' Strawberry Cheesecake Iced Latte your go-to beverage this summer. The Bahamas runs on Duncan.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. Talking Heads with Naughty. This is Pearly in the house with my good friends out of Abaco. We've got Daphne DeGregory and Roscoe Thompson. Mostly Daphne today. So Daphne, we're back. How you doing again?
I'm good. I'm right here. Honey.
So we spoke about the derelict buildings and stuff like that needs to be torn down and dealt with. What other issues are happening in Abaco that we need to talk about today?
Okay, well, the roads are deplorable.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to. I mean, this is ridiculous. The roads, the drains. Roscoe hit on the drains. Now, let me just say one thing. We know that massive destruction took place because of the flooding in Dorian.
Yes.
There was so much debris. There was so much muck, so much mess. Now, all of that water that receives, okay, if it did receive, maybe they were blocked from then, and that's probably one of the reasons why we had the extent of flooding we did. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But if the drains that we depend on to help to, clear the flooding are blocked, well, where's the water going?
But see, that's the issue.
Where's it going?
That's an issue that I also have here in Nassau as well. We have all these drains. Is there no program to regularly clear the drains, particularly prior to the rainy season?
Yeah. Well, I spoke to the fire department. Who, the fire department, they normally do what they can to help to open the drains, but clear the drains. But as they explained to me, it requires, I suppose, like a snaking, a sucking, a complete blowing out of the drains, which it's beyond their capacity. And remember, our fire department, they're all volunteers.
Yes.
Government operated. But, Ministry of Works, they don't have the machinery, they don't have the equipment to do it. I understand that there is a well digger. Believe it or not, we really don't have a proper, I don't think, well digger on Abaco, but there is someone here from Freeport with some heavy duty equipment, and the local government and the fire department, I think, were both notified that this person is here and could assist with the clearing of the drains. Whether anything will come of that, I don't know.
Wow.
But again, Abaconians feel abandoned.
Oh boy.
Okay? Abandoned by government. The improvements that have been made here were made by NGOs, by outside forces.
Yes.
And second homeowners, who have a vested interest in the islands. But major investment, major funds, to my knowledge, has not come from our treasury. We do support and have been a huge contributor to the national treasury.
Of course.
I would venture to say we don't get, 1%, 0.5% back. I don't know what kind of percent we get back.
That would be interesting to find out.
But it would be, maybe, Minister Halkidas could provide that kind of information for us. They know how to tax.
Oh, sure do.
And they know how to measure how much they need to increase taxes.
Well, now they say no increased taxes, so what they do is just introduce a bunch of different fees.
Yeah.
Fish fry. Yeah.
If we got to pay them something, that's a tax.
Yes.
I don't care what
that's why I say fish fry, same thing.
Exactly. So now, if they can quantify all of that, they should also be able to quantify how much money they have spent.
Yes.
And I'd be really interested in knowing how much money has been spent by the government on infrastructural repairs to Abaco, post-Dorian. There are a number of, I have to say, probably maybe 20 not to exaggerate, between 20 and 30 trailers.
It's starting to break up a little bit, Daphne.
Just trailers, like around our government complex.
Okay.
Around our government
You say
complex.
20 to 30 trailers?
There are civil servants living. That's just I count.
Well, Daphne, Daphne, you're really breaking up. You're breaking up badly. I haven't heard much of what you said in the last minute or two.
Wow. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know how I can fix that.
You're clear now.
I am. Yeah. Okay. Because the internet has been a mess all day. I mean, BTC wasn't working. Somebody hit a pole. I don't know. There's been issues. There's always issues with water, power, internet. We seem to be just rotating. Who's working? Who's on?
So one day we have water problem. The next day power problem.
But the point I was making is that there. Right. But these people living in containers. Now, picture yourself living in a container for 4 years. You step out of your container onto basically a gravel ground outside of a government complex, and that's what you see every day.
So why haven't we put these people in homes yet? Or
you want to grab a ground.
Why are they still in trailers? Why there has nothing been done to move these people in 4 years?
Exactly. Where is the housing? Where is the housing? And I venture to say senior civil servants, long-term, long-standing senior civil servants, not just these little young cats that just come, are in trailers. Now, everybody's got a story, and I don't know what, but I do know that a lot of these people were not able to take advantage of the year and a half that we actually had to use Sears. Mm-hmm. They have discontinued and stopped as of September 31st. I believe they will honor no more Sears permits.
September 30th.
They're not entertaining any new applications. Yet, there are a great number of local Abaconians who still have not been able to rebuild their homes and don't know how they will be able to do it. Family Island Act, the Family Island Development Act, that doesn't help in all cases, and it's a tedious process.
Oh, boy.
Are you hearing me?
I am hearing you. I'm hearing you very loud and clear.
Am I on?
You're on with me. I have a text to say, what is
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me? I can hear you, Daphne. The text.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
now.
a texter is saying, "What is the DRA doing in Abaco? What is their role in Abaco?"
I don't know what they're doing. They're going around looking for what they think people teethed, what was, I think, donated. What they're looking at scrutinizing the previous DRA team, but what they're actually doing for the people, I really don't know.
Nothing is for the past doing assessments is what they've been doing
for 2 years.
They have not actually, that I know of, and I did speak to the gentleman about 6 weeks ago, and he said, "Oh, we're starting in 2 weeks," and that's their favorite saying is 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they don't say 2 weeks, what month or what year.
Well, Pearlie, as I can say, I know that they have not, as of yet, unless they've started just recently. The DRA is kind of like our government right now. They're on the back burner, just doing what they want to do.
So let me ask you all this question. And Roscoe, I know you tell me the last time people say you complain too much. Tell us all right, so we could nullify that little argument that anybody puts out there. What is good happening in Abaco right now? And then there was silence.
No, businesses are good. A lot of the Jib Room, Maxwell's, Premier Importers, CarQuest is coming back. You have ACC, you have AMP, part city. You have a lot of businesses that have come back.
Okay.
Which is great to see. You have a lot of rental business. Our issue, and Daphne touched on it earlier, is still housing.
Yes.
Everybody has now gone to Airbnb. It's very hard to find long-term monthly rentals.
Okay.
But
Roscoe, while you're there, I meant to ask you, those beautiful constructed homes that are sitting on a hill somewhere that are unfinished, that have driveways that you can't actually drive into.
The cement building?
Do the driveway into the garage.
If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, the cement buildings that are beautifully built and sitting there empty. What is the story with them?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they're the ones that were in agreement with the a development over here that was supposed to build X amount of homes and then turn them over, or if they were started by the DRA. But Pearlie, just to give you an example, I think it's 4 or 5. They're all roofed. They're all got windows in it.
Okay.
They're ready to be moved in, and in 2 years under this administration, nothing has happened.
So the houses are sitting there.
Allegedly, they were supposed to be paid for by a private donor, and allegedly, the government kind of missed the beat on that, didn't get the funding, and they're just sitting there empty.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
there's
flabbergasted.
the
That's
other
why.
buildings, concrete buildings that have been started without windows, just got hurricane boards up over the windows. Opposite the, I think it's opposite, not far, where they're putting a new hurricane shelter that's been being built for, I don't know, are they finishing? Are they working on that again? The hurricane shelter?
I have no idea. I will find out for our next show, but I do know that the Minnis administration started and got out of the ground. And that's all that I know of. Nothing has been done that I know of since then. Now I've heard sip that construction has started, but I have yet to see any more progress.
Well, last time I drove by there, I saw some trucks in the yard and a couple of fellas walking around, but I didn't see too many hammers being swung. And I believe these concrete houses that I'm talking about are like the opposite, not right behind them.
Right. Those are the ones I'm addressing. Yeah, I think those were done by, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to call any names because I don't want to.
No, but a private donor, yeah.
Yeah, and at least if they're, Pearlie, here we go. If you have a private donor that's done these or an organization, why don't you pick 4 people and let's get them in there, finish it off, even if they get the houses. Even if they have to go and borrow X amount of dollars, to finish off, at least you have 4 families that are now living in homes and you still have people living in some domes in Murphy and Dundas Town.
But my question here is to you. You've got 2 members of parliament that are part of the government. What are they doing?
I'll let Daphne comment on that.
Y'all just go quiet on me when I ask certain questions.
Let
me
put it to you this way. After Dorian, we had a very positive meeting with both members of Parliament in the Prime Minister's office, Chamber of Commerce.
The two present members of Parliament, or the prior?
Present members of Parliament.
All right. Okay.
And I was very encouraged because both of them were gung all ready to go, man.
Yeah.
Full of piss and vinegar. Okay? Mm-hmm. And they talked about bringing a housing development where civil servants would have first preference on a piece of land and the funding to build a house. They wouldn't have to, they would guarantee, the purchase. They wouldn't have to come up with any money up front, and they would have long-term repayment plan. But that's all I heard about it. I heard nothing more about that. That's dead. Okay?
Texas.
What is happening with that? I don't know.
That's a good Texas, actually, we are in a hurricane zone.
Okay.
How focused the immigration department is over there if a storm might be heading that way? I guess they and good.
The immigration department.
Yeah. So I guess they're saying how focused is immigration in Abaco now, considering what went down with Dorian and if a hurricane has come up, are they prepared?
One good thing immigration won't have to worry about is where all the illegals going to go, because they got nice homes. They live in homes. At least they're not all jam up in front of the port to get washed away. In shantytowns, they live in nice homes in the bush, not paying any rent and doing their own thing. And immigration is fully aware of them. The police are fully aware of them. The government's fully aware of them.
But nobody's doing anything.
And when they tried to do something about it, the courts stopped them, and then they came back and said, "Oh yeah, you could demolish 2 houses."
Yeah,
and there's hundreds, thousands
with the 4-figure thousands of houses.
Yeah, like 4-figure thousands.
Oh boy. Texas says, "Good day. Why can't governance be continuous? It's always politics playing with the Bahamians' well-being." SMT. We're going to take our last break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up with Donna and Roscoe. This is Pearlie with Talking Heads on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Donna, we'll be right back.
Ready for something very delicious this summer? Introducing the new Dunkin' Strawberry Cheesecake Iced Latte. Enjoy the bold flavors of Dunkin' Espresso and sweet, luscious strawberry, all topped with velvety whipped cream and irresistible cookie crumbles for a match made in latte heaven. Make Dunkin' Strawberry Cheesecake Iced Latte your go-to beverage this summer. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Refined style with elegant taste. Then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
Okay, school bag, books, pencils, uniform, oh Lord, and I gotta buy snacks too?
Just lay it on the line.
The Guardian Media Group and AML Foods want to help families in need with our first ever Back to School Snackathon. What's a snackathon? Well, we want to help by assisting in donating school snacks to children that may need them as they head back to school this year. To be a part of our snackathon, all you have to do is shop at your favorite Solomon Superstore or Fresh Market. At the store, you can donate your pre-existing loyalty points, or you can donate cash directly at the register. Every single penny will go towards purchasing snacks that will be donated for distribution by the Bahamas Feeding Network and Hands for Hunger. Together, we can ensure that every child that opens their backpack this year will have a snack and a smile.
Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year.
Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Get the flavor explosion that'll satisfy all your bacon cravings. The KFC Sweet and Smoky Bacon Sandwich from the Fried Chicken Experts features 2 crispy strips of bacon on a premium 100% white meat chicken filet, layered with 2 slices of cheese, smoky chipotle mayo, and our secret surprise, sweet bacon jam, all stacked on a buttery brioche bun. Experience the sweet and smoky explosion today, as it's here for a limited time. KFC Sweet and Smoky Bacon Sandwich. It's finger-licking good.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. Talking Heads with Naughty, 96.9 on Guardian Radio. We got Daphne and Roscoe in from Abaco. Daphne, today is back to school day in Abaco as well?
Yeah, as far as I know. Thank God I don't have any children in school anymore. But yes, back to school today.
I can tell you the truth, I don't miss that. Yeah, I do not miss that. But have you heard how it went in Abaco? I know some hiccups are in Nassau. A couple of schools are not opening until tomorrow and later on. So how did it go in Abaco? Do you know?
I honestly cannot speak to that because I haven't had any communication with anybody from the school system.
Majority was a good transition from the private schools and from I did not hear of any issues or problems. I guess they'll be ironed out later, but the private schools I know went back in the day.
Okay.
And government schools too. So from what I've heard, the transition was smooth.
Okay. Somebody text says, the PM for Abaco, what is his role now that he is not the real PM? Leave it.
He's operating as member of parliament because he's still a member of parliament.
Yes. I think that person was just being a bit facetious.
That release of that position does not relieve him of his responsibilities as member of parliament.
For North Abaco.
It's my understanding, and as far as I'm concerned, he will be able to give more time and devotion to his
constituents.
We
got a few more minutes. Any other issues or anything else that we should be looking at in Abaco for this week? And hopefully we'll get some resolution sometime this week as the week go in.
I'm going to let y'all go. Daphne, remind them about org and what they're doing.
Yes.
Pearlie, you have a good evening and good afternoon, Bahamas. We'll see you next Monday.
Take care, Roscoe. Hope you feel better.
Thanks, Roscoe. Take it easy. So, real quick, I want to give a shout out and a plug for Organization for Responsible Governance, the org.
I met them.
The junior team. They are coming to Abaco. They'll be here next Saturday.
Okay.
And they're getting a group of young business persons, young citizens, to contribute to a focus group that is looking at, from a local level, what the issues are, what the challenges are, especially for young business persons, young entrepreneurs, and also trying to come up with what they feel possible solutions are. And this is a first focus meeting. Anyone who is interested in that, they can please get in touch with org directly, Org Bahamas, or with myself through the chamber. I would definitely encourage. We are looking for about 10 to 15 intelligent, young, forward-thinking individuals to participate in this on Saturday at the government complex. It'll be from about 10 in the morning till 1. And please, anyone really interested in participating can call me.
Are you feeding them? That's the question I asked if you invited me. I want to know if you're feeding me.
Well, people always want to know if they're getting paid or they're being fed. You know what? If you are serious, if you're serious about wanting to make change in your community, and I have to say, I represent the business community, but I'm really looking at reaching out to the broader community.
Wonderful.
Even if you're not a chamber member, we can only have the country, the society, the community that we invest in ourselves. It's up to each one of us to be prepared to put our money where our mouth is, or put our time and effort where our criticisms lay, so that we can participate and help to make the change we want. There'll be a light refreshment.
Before I go, can I just remind the Bahamas just to keep Abaco and Grand Bahama in their thoughts and prayers, as Friday we not celebrate, but we remember the lives lost in Hurricane Dorian. And unfortunately, it's on my birthday.
Roscoe, I think all or most of the businesses in Abaco for sure will be closed on that day in honor of those persons
Okay.
lost.
And we certainly will keep them in our prayers here in Nassau and here on Guardian Radio and with Talking Heads, because I lived that in Nassau and I know how terrified I was. So I cannot imagine how terrified the people of Abaco were, and hearing the horror stories and all the things that happened afterwards. And I only can wish that we can get Abaco and Grand Bahama back to where it should be. And it's really, I mean, you don't expect it overnight, but it is taking very long.
Yeah, it's a sad, because it's also my birthday, so it's a day I'll never forget. So I usually celebrate my birthday the day before, the day
I
after.
can imagine. My sister's born on 9/11, so I know, I understand. Anyway, it's been nice talking to you again, Roscoe. Nice meeting you, Daphne. I look forward to coming back on Talking Heads and having an opportunity to speak with you again, as maybe when Naughty takes another trip or something. But I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
You guys take care, and I keep you Abaco in my prayers, because it's a beautiful island. It's an island I love. So you guys take care. God bless, and we'll talk real soon again. This has been.
Thank you. Stay safe.
This has been Pearlie filling in for Naughty on the first hour of Talking Heads. When we get back after the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking some sports, because guess what's coming up pretty soon? Football. We'll be back. Have a good break.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by AML Foods Limited, the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board, BTC, Burger King, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, Dunkin' Donuts, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, Freeport News, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Naughty Johnny's, Perseus Island Games, Scotiabank, and Tropical Gyros.
We're back. Talking Heads and Naughty Sports Time. Boy, that was interesting. It's when I think about Abaco, it hurts me that they ain't getting where they need to be. And I know and understand, you can't get it done all one time. I know that. You can't have a hurricane today and by Christmas it's no, I understand that. But there's some things that can be done. Some they call it low-lying fruit. Come on, man. They are peoples, man. They are peoples. So what's happening? What's happening out there today? It's sports time. Everybody had a good sports weekend. We had the final weekend of preseason football. So I think on Thursday, the 7th of September is when the first game kicks off, and then everybody fall in line right after that. That should be fun. That should really, really be fun. I'm excited about it. I can't wait for football. Miami Dolphins. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We'll see. But let's get started. Let's get started with today's in sports history. Today is Monday, the August 28, 2023. Very, very short. Very, very short today. In 1922, the Walker Cup was held for the first time in Southampton, New York. It is the oldest international team golf match in America. In 1941, the Football Writers Association of America was organized. And lastly, in 1972, Mark Spitz captured the first of his 7 gold medals at the Summer Olympics in Munich, Germany. He set a world record when he completed the 200-meter butterfly in 2 minutes and 7/10 of a second. And the sports quote of the day, what do I do with it now? Lord of mercy. The sports quote of the day, I didn't like the 50s, I appreciate Elvis, but I'm not a big fan. I'm not a rockabilly fan. And the 60s and early 70s were, to me, the greatest times to live. Bret Hull. The 60s. I always tell people I grew up in several eras of music. In the 60s, as a little boy growing up, my dad played a bunch of music from then. In the 70s, I spent my high school days. So, in the 80s, my college days. And in the 90s, I worked in radio. So I had 4 different eras, 4 different decades of music. But I think the 70s, probably to me, was the best time to live. It's the best time. The 70s was a great era. It was a really great time. It was a really, really great time. So what else is happening? What else is happening in the Bahamas in the local sports? The Bahamas ended in a 5-way tie for 44th. The United States dominated the medal and point standing. Archer optimistic about 2024. We're talking about the IAAF World Track and Field Championships. And 2024 is the next Olympics. Strawn finished 6th in the women's 200 meter. And from Strawn's scare to Lyle's crash, Budapest was active. They seem to have a pretty good, we get spoiled when our athletes do well, and then when we have maybe an off year or something. And sometimes when it's like this, when we don't have a good World Championships, we have a really good Olympics. And I feel good about, the athletes that we're going to be sending, hopefully, to the Olympics next year. Shanique, the usual Shanique and Stevie, but there's others coming up, the javelin thrower, the hammer thrower that didn't make the team, but it's practicing. And forgive me for not calling names. And of course, Devin Shelton and the hurdlers. So we've got some athletes out there that by 2024 should be next year should be in a position to do well in the Olympics, and we look forward to that. I'm excited about that. And what else is going on? I had I've been getting a lot of texts in reference to the situation with the Bahamas Baseball Association and the suspensions of the Burrows, Greg Burrows Sr. and Jr. I had a conversation with the representative from the BBA, and they're still not quite ready to go to talk about it so much publicly because they're getting some lining up the ducks, getting all the ducks in a row, and getting some information from some of the international baseball bodies. So just hold on. They're coming real soon, and they'll lay it all out on the table, and I guess the people can take it for what it's worth and where it's at. So for you guys who've been texting me and asking me about that, just give them a little bit while longer, and they'll come and talk a little more about it once they get some information they're trying to get and some clarity they're trying to get from the international bodies that they represent here in the Bahamas and for baseball. So we see how it goes. So I see Aaron Rodgers got his shot in preseason for the first time in years. He didn't do bad. Big trade. I know Naughty's all excited about this big trade. His Dallas Cowboys got Trace Lance from the 49ers. And people, Trace Lance was the number 3 pick overall, so he has some talent. I thought he was doing pretty good. He got hurt, I think, in game 2 or 3 last year, and that was it. He hasn't played, so he's now back, and I guess it ain't good enough, so they decided they're going to move on from him. That's going to be, that puts up some questions for Dallas. And you Dallas Cowboy fans, if you're listening, where does that put Dak? Is Dak future as a Dallas Cowboy quarterback in limited now, or counting down? Is the time counting down that Dak could be gone? Because you trust me, Trace Lance has a lot of upside, and with the right coaching and stuff like that, he can be a really good quarterback. And you ain't got to pay him that $50 million a year right up to now. So what does that mean? I mean, somebody tell me. I know Naughty wanted to talk about this a little bit. Probably mad I'm bringing it up right now, but I can get it while he's not here. That's going to be interesting to see. That's going to be real interesting to see. I'm just double checking to see if my Dolphins pull off the trade for Jonathan Taylor yet, because no, it hasn't happened yet. But the Indianapolis Colts gave him tomorrow. Tomorrow's cut down day, so tomorrow's when you cut your team down to the 53-man roster. So I guess they need to make a decision on what they're going to do. Are we going to keep you, trade you, cut you, whatever? I doubt they'll cut him, but you never ever know. Or will they keep him on the roster and tell him, hey, you got to come into the game and start playing? So I don't know. I'll see. Oh boy, we'll see. Is the Dolphins? They say the Dolphins is a team in the mix. There's 6 other teams or 5 other teams. I don't know if I want Jonathan Taylor as a Dolphin. I haven't bought into that just yet, considering the amount of money you may have to pay him. And we ain't paid Gerald Wilkins yet, so I'm a little concerned. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where he ends up by tomorrow. It could be something happen tonight, so you got to keep your eyes keep your ears pierced. I see the Arizona Cardinals have not named a starter yet, so that's interesting. That's real interesting. What else going on? Do you think those Dallas Cowboys going to be Dallas Cowboys? I saw a piece today talking about Dallas. Actually, not Dallas, talking about the New York Jets as to whether the Jets will be in a position to win that division. Now they've got some pretty tough games. They've got some pretty tough games ahead of them, and they're analyzing, who can they beat. I know one of the games is with Dallas. I think another game is going to be with the Chiefs. I think they got Buffalo. Who else they got? Chiefs. They got Buffalo. They got. I'm trying to remember who all they got now. I don't want. It's 6. Well, anyway, they're saying that they can go 4-2. I said, how you can think they're going 4-2 just like that? Just quick as that, people trying to put them as a 4-2 team when they haven't done anything quite just yet. Do we consider them a 4-2 team? Do we consider them? A contender for the AFC East, or is it between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins? Everybody's getting all up into the New York Jets love now because they bring Aaron Rodgers, and I keep thinking y'all gonna fool yourselves and find out there's nothing happening. You're gonna hurt yourselves and find out there's nothing happening, and then you can be all vexed, puff up, and mad because you didn't do as well as you thought you was gonna do. That's my belief on it. Let's see. I'm trying to pull up their schedule right now so we can see all they're playing. So I know they got the Bills on the 11th of September. So then they got the Cowboys. Now they at Buffalo on the 11th, which is not bad. It's still warm up there. Then the Cowboys come home to the Jets, and then you got the Patriots. So they could be 2-1, or they could be 1 and they could be 2-1, or they could be 1-2. I don't know. If they beat the Bills, all right, they could be Bills, Jets. They could be 2-1, or they could be 1-2. I doubt they'll be 3-0. I seriously doubt they'll be 3-0. And then they got the Patriots, I said. Then they got the Chiefs. That's another loss. Then they got the Broncos, and then they got the Eagles. So out of that, I see 2 sure wins, beating probably the Patriots and the Broncos. But I don't know about the other 4. So they could be 2-4. But some people thinking that they could probably beat Dallas. I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. I don't know. Some people think they could beat Dallas. The AFC East is going to be a real, real interesting division. A real interesting division. I understand the Kansas City Chiefs are a little vulnerable right now. They're not as sure as people are looking at them for the preseason. They don't look as sure. Back to the Jets. And why I'm doubting the Jets, and I saw them do something during the preseason which they hopefully will work for them. They got a weak offensive line. Well, most teams need help on offensive line, but they got a real weak offensive line. So I'm understanding that they're going to take a shorter drop and a quicker pass. So those wide receivers got to get off the line quicker because to avoid the sack, to avoid Aaron Rodgers getting hit so hard. The defense is fine. They got a Super Bowl defense, and if you let the defense get to you, you'll be in plenty problems. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just so excited about football. I can't wait for the season to start. I just can't wait for the season. Did you see that? Did anybody watch the game on the weekend? Let's take this call and we can talk about how Tyreek Hill duked the fella right out of his shoes. Caller, you on there? What's happening?
No, Pearly. You know something. But you can take a bait now. You can take a bait. I know you was gonna call. I didn't say that to get you to call me. Listen, man. Listen. I am one who, when misinformation is spread, it must be corrected. Because if you don't correct it, that means you endorsing what has been said. My daddy always tell me that. He say these other parents ain't gonna talk about this and talk about that. But I can tell you. You can't hang with this fella because, he's a little questionable. You can't hang with that gal if she's a little questionable.
Yeah.
He said, I got to tell you because if I let you do it, right?
Yeah.
Then people think I endorse it.
Yeah, okay.
Talk to me. I follow what my father said. So
Talk to me.
First of all, we went 2-1 in the preseason.
Yes, you did.
That was number one.
Yes, you did.
Our first team offense, all right? Our first team offense scored on all but 2 drives in the preseason.
Okay.
Okay? And, I mean, our first team defense, we didn't put our first team defense out.
That's what I want to talk about. The other side of the ball, that defense.
Okay.
You signed the stud back yet?
Listen. That can happen.
But I understand if you don't sign him this week, you probably miss him till about week 8.
No, listen to me. First of all, remember, he's under contract.
Okay.
Okay, this ain't a free agent ever.
Okay.
Him and Bosa both playing this game. They can get done. We know it can get done. And here's the thing. It ain't like he's running any defensive scheme. He's a rusher.
Yeah, okay.
You line him up and tell him go.
Okay.
Okay? Right? You run the stunts. You run your defensive stunts with your linebackers. Okay? Not with your defensive end.
Understood.
Them fellas, you pin your ears back and let them go. So him and Bosa will come back and they'll be fine. There won't be an issue from that.
Okay.
Right? But what we did with our first team defense is we mixed and matched. Because what Spagnuolo wanted to do was to get some of the guys that they evaluated, particularly our younger guys, first and second year players.
I gotcha. Some
time in with the first teamers so that they could see the different stunts. Because those are the guys they probably bring in on specialty third downs and those sort of things. That's how Spags always does it. Okay? We got a good young team. We're looking good. Our wide receiver room is looking pretty good.
So you're real confident for a Super Bowl rematch?
I am really, listen to me, I am very comfortable. And I can say this to you. I'm the one who worries. I'm the one who looks at the season and says, boy, we got 3 losses or 4 losses, right? And then when we go 14-2 or 17, and I know, I sit back and say, well, I was glad I was proven wrong.
Okay.
But this year, I don't see a single game that we should lose.
So you're trying to say you're going to take my Dolphin record of an undefeated season?
Listen to me. Vegas has us favored in every single game this season.
Okay.
Okay? And, Vegas don't always get it right, but the house normally know what they're doing. Okay?
We can see. Because I think Vegas right now...
We can see. But, I mean, the truth of the matter is, we got the class of the league in a bunch of different positions. We're the only team in the league with 3 top 10 players. All right? Mahomes at 1, Kelsey at 5, and Chris Jones at 10.
Okay.
And really, Chris Jones should be at 8.
Probably so.
Yeah. So, and when we look at what we lost, the fellow who I really upset about losing, Frank Clark, he just went to Denver, so he can't really hurt us.
No.
He ain't going to no contender. Right? Thornhill.
But I really believe Denver going to be a lot better than they were last year. I think people can sleep on them.
Listen, if Denver wins 7 games, they'll be a lot better than they was last year. Okay? Let
me ask you a question.
If you was blind, and like the Bible now say, you see men walking as trees, that's an improvement.
Let me ask you this question.
Good.
Everywhere I turn, so many people have jumped on this Jets bandwagon. Aaron Rodgers is like the second coming of Jesus Christ and the Messiah for football. What are your views on the Jets and where you think they're going to go this year?
Okay, first of all, let me give my views on Aaron Rodgers. Okay? Rodgers had, granted they didn't draft a lot of good weapons for him, but he had a lot of good weapons.
Yeah.
Right? And he lived in Green Bay in a division where he had chalk every year. And out of all of that, in 16 years, he went to 1 Super Bowl.
Point.
Okay? Went to 1. Okay? I don't see how they think that what the Jets are, a young team, a beat up, broken down offensive line where the guy that they were going to cut at the beginning of the season, Mekhi Becton.
Yes.
Okay? Right? They now got him leading them out of the tunnel. and they kind of say that that's a great story. What that tells me is, 1, either your coaching staff don't know what they're doing, or 2, you're just desperate.
And the bottom line is desperate because there's everybody hurting for offensive linemen.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you are a quarterback, the AFC is where you need to be afraid of. Because outside of Parsons in Dallas and Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa, and to San Fran as a whole, but Aaron Donald and Parsons, the NFC ain't got no real rushers.
Point.
That's why Craig Cousins has stayed healthy every year.
Yeah, that's true.
Ain't nobody to hit him. But that AFC, And AFC, if your offensive line is garbage, you will get found out. And Aaron's going to get found out because that, and you can see it too with Dalvin Cook. That offensive line is trash.
It is. It
okay?
is.
So, and the Jets as a whole, listen to me, Robert Saleh is a dumb coach. All right? You only have to go back to the Super Bowl versus us, where they had a 23-10 lead in the fourth quarter, and everybody knew the ball was going to Kelsey and Tyreek, and he couldn't stop it.
That's true.
Couldn't stop it.
That's
so
true.
I don't see any way. Listen to me, the Jets will finish third in that division, and they won't make the playoffs because they got to play the Dolphins and they got to play the Bills twice a year, and that's beaten. And then we going down to New Jersey.
Yeah.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
We gonna beat them.
That's
and they got a
fast.
couple other games. They're looking at 7 losses, and 7 losses don't get you in the AFC.
Not in the AFC this year, no.
Not in the AFC. You can get that in the NFC. You can get away with that.
Yeah.
7 losses don't get you in. So all this hype about Aaron, Aaron need to go back to the cave and go and be dark retreat and go smoke his ayahuasca and do whatever else he want to do.
It's psychedelics.
Because, you know what I mean? See, playing quarterback takes a level of discipline.
It sure does.
Okay? And I don't want my quarterback doing drugs.
Fair
That's it. You're making bad decisions. And they don't, and those things translate out, you know. Those things translate out. So I don't see that happening. The truth of the matter is that I can give you this. The Chiefs, Chargers make the playoffs. Dolphins, Bills make the playoffs. All right? You're gonna have Baltimore's gonna be the surprise team in that tough AFC North.
Okay.
It's gonna be Baltimore and then the Bengals. Mark my word.
Okay.
Baltimore and the Bengals. Okay?
All right.
All right. And then one team from the AFC South, which is probably going to be Jacksonville, because I just don't think Tennessee's regressed every year.
I don't see them. I don't see them. I don't see Tennessee going anywhere.
Yeah. So that's your 7 playoff tips.
All right.
That's your 7 playoff tips right there.
I got
no
you.
more, no less.
I got you.
All right.
Okay.
So, but please. I mean, I know you're a dog.
Actually, I'd be very honest with you. I just bait you this now. I say, you know what? I need the help.
Now, at least you know you're listening.
You ain't let me down.
Don't mind. Listen. Oh, one thing. I need a special. I'm going to be giving special T-shirts out this year for those of us there's about 3 of us in the country who are both Bulldog fans and Chiefs fans.
Okay.
So we got to get one with the Super Bowl trophy in the front, and the other one with the college football trophy in the back. Because this is going to be what I call my triple-double year.
Oh, Lord.
Bulldogs go for 3, Chiefs go for 2.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay? Just remember you heard it.
My Fighting Irish look real good on Saturday.
No Fighting Irish ain't playing nobody. Navy was literally playing dudes who couldn't even make the CAFL. Everybody from Navy transferred out.
That's true. You're right.
They playing all over the place. All right?
And normally Navy, Notre Dame play a tougher game. So when I saw that, I said the Navy got nobody this year. Yeah.
Yeah, and your boy they brought in from Wake Forest, right? You can tell the difference with the level of talent. He played well at Wake Forest, but he was getting stopped by good ACC teams.
Yeah.
They going over to Ireland. This fellow was looking like he was Pat Mahomes' street.
Yeah.
Okay? But did you see the size of Navy's defensive line?
Yeah.
Them dudes ain't big as linebackers.
Yeah, they're small, really small.
All right?
They were
the
getting
offensive
Bulldog.
line was like, basically, they took any dude who was kind of fast in the Navy and was like, hey, you playing the O-line. I didn't watch the game on Saturday because, that's my job. But
yes.
But I was able to watch the rebroadcast Saturday night.
Okay.
And my wife was kind of mad at me because she wanted to go to the movies, but didn't know what's happening. So I said, "It's week 0." I can tell you that's a very. I mean, it's a poorly match, and their coach Freeman actually came out and said, he said, temper your expectations. We're still getting there. And Notre Dame will be in the top 15, but they ain't gonna be in the top 10.
Well, what, they're 13 now?
Yeah.
I think they probably could crack the top 10. I don't see them as a playoff team.
They're going to crack the top 10 early because we got some big games.
Yeah.
We got the FSU, LSU game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Both of those teams ranked. So somebody got to drop. Okay? You got Alabama playing Tennessee early.
Okay.
One of those teams is going to drop.
Okay.
So you're going to see That's what I'm saying. But by the end of the season,
top 15.
right where they need to be.
Okay.
Like 16 or 17.
All right. Okay.
So don't mind that. Don't mind that. You know. So
Thanks.
watch over my dogs. We open up a UT with UT.
If y'all don't put 60 points up, something wrong. If y'all don't put 60 points up, something wrong.
No. Listen, we ain't opening the playbook on them. We're not opening the playbook on them. We're going to run the ball down their throat. We're going to give them the new starting quarterback some good safe passes.
Okay.
We'll probably win 37, but they ain't going to score no touchdown unless they get a tip ball somewhere and run that back.
Okay.
This defense, that Georgia defense is there.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Woo!
You guys is just draft everybody and just re-up so easy.
Listen, 37-3. You need to follow recruiting. We ain't got at least 4 or 5 five-star defensive players on for the 2025 class.
Pissing Nick Saban right off.
We had a guy decommit from us for next year and go to Auburn because he's a 5-star guy, and they said if you come to Georgia, you got to sit at least for a year because you can't start. The fella going to Auburn. And Auburn is trash. Right?
Wow, yeah,
That's
they are
how
trash.
DPR.
Yeah.
That's how DPR.
I know. Really deep. Georgia's deep.
We don't have a real game until November, the second week in November. Honestly. Like, I'm going to the night game, Georgia, Florida, in Jacksonville, right?
Okay.
And we play Tennessee to have a break, then we play Auburn, and then we play Tennessee. Tennessee is going to be the first game we might open the playbook on. We got nobody.
Wow.
We got nobody. I mean,
wow.
We got UAB, we got Mississippi. We can beat the Pops.
Ole Miss?
So, yeah. South Carolina.
Beat
the Pops. We got nobody.
Yeah.
We don't hit our big stretch of the teams until last. So
okay.
You know.
I'll keep my eyes open, we'll see.
Listen, man. I can tell you, I can sign up. Better sign up for one of the T-shirts now. We can give you a friends of the dogs. And my brother,
the last Georgia T-shirt I had was when Herschel was. I think it was Herschel, right? Yeah. And the T-shirt said, "How about them dogs?" And I had a big dog in the front of it. That's
for my 40th birthday, some of my fraternity brothers went and got me a signed picture from Herschel Walker. I have a Herschel Walker signed picture. I have a Derek Thomas signed picture.
Did you throw it away after you decided to run for mayor?
No, man. No, listen. Present stupidity does not negate possibility. Okay, bro. I worship him as a football player. Now the politician, he on his own.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, my brother.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself.
Take care.
Okay, we're gonna take our first break, but let me just read these 2 texts quick. You see, this caller got to be delusional. The Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl bound. Okay, I tell you, Pittsburgh will not make the playoffs. What is the take on the Steelers? I answered you. The Steelers won't make the playoffs. The Steelers got a good young quarterback and a really good wide receiver. They're going to turn some heads. I think they're going to probably buck 1 or 2 people, but at the end of the day, I don't think they got quite enough this year. I don't think they have quite enough this year. I think they're still a year away. So that's my take on the Steelers. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll be talking some more football, a little bit of baseball, and then we do our picks, and we get into the final 12. This is Pearlie holding on for Naughty Today and Talking Heads on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Wherever you are in the world, Cleveland Clinic's world-class care is here for you. From Ohio to Florida to London, Cleveland Clinic treats thousands of patients every year. Ranked number 2 in the world by Newsweek, you can trust our caregivers to enhance your experience across each step of your treatment journey. For every care in the world, learn more at clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Okay, school bag, books, pencils, uniform. Oh, Lord. And I gotta buy snacks, too?
Just lay it on the line.
The Guardian Media Group and AML Foods want to help families in need with our first ever Back to School Snackathon. What's a snackathon? Well, we want to help by assisting in donating school snacks to children that may need them as they head back to school this year. To be a part of our snackathon, all you have to do is shop at your favorite Solomon Superstore or Fresh Market. At the store, you can donate your pre-existing loyalty points, or you can donate cash directly at the register. Every single penny will go towards purchasing snacks that will be donated for distribution by the Bahamas Feeding Network and Pants for Hunger. Together, we can ensure that every child that opens their backpack this year will have a snack and a smile.
Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved.
Naughty Johnny's restaurant can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday. Only at Naughty Johnny's restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's. Well worth the trip.
Shavara Roka Enias, Chickchani Farms. I don't think I chose farming. I think farming chose me. Winning this award will definitely give us the funding that we need to start our farming season. Most persons who are in the agriculture field realize that at the start of the season, which is in the next couple of weeks, you do always need a bulk of cash. I think we have a great track record for the work that we've been doing in agriculture over the last 10 years. And so when I saw the opportunity for an award like this, I figured, you know what, I should just go ahead and enter.
The Agrarian Awards, September 16th.
Grab your camera, capture the spirit of the Bahamas, and win cash and prizes. Scotiabank, in partnership with the Guardian Media Group, invites all youth, amateur, and professional photographers to enter the Celebrate Bahamas 50 photography competition, being held under the theme One Nation, One Legacy, Our Future. With more than $8,000 in cash to be won, snap those photos and send them in by August 30th. Visit GuardianTalkRadio.com or bs.scotiabank.com to find out how to enter. Let's celebrate our proud nation in photos. Terms and conditions apply.
Attention, all KFC lovers! Are you ready to get crazy on Tuesdays? Now you can get 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of KFC chicken for only $10. It's crazy! 5 pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Don't miss out! This crazy offer is only on Tuesdays and only at KFC. KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. Talking Heads with Naughty here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Baseball is heating up. You got about 32 more games left, and you got some teams looking to make a move for the play. Let's take a quick look at the standings, and then we look at, you got in the American League East ball, and I just doing this. I really want to rub this into Naughty. You got the Baltimore Orioles in first place, and they're 2 games up on the Rays, and the Blue Jays, the Boston, and in last place, a whole 19 games behind them, is those New York Yankees. And then in the Central, you got the Twins up about 6 games up on the Guardians, and 8.5 up on Detroit. And then over in the West, the Mariners, the surprising Seattle Mariners are really playing some good baseball. They got a game lead up on both the Rangers and the Astros, and the Angels basically out of it 12 to 11.5 out. When you go over in the National League, those Atlanta Braves, my friend Teddy Sweet and my son Trey's Atlanta Braves, and my cousin Bernard's Atlanta Braves, they're first place with an 84 and 45 best record in baseball. They're 12.5 games up on Philadelphia, 19 up on Jazz and the Marlins. The Mets in hot last, 25 games out. When we look at the National League Central, the Milwaukee Brewers got a 4-game lead on the Cubs, and the Cubs are really playing some good baseball right now. They're 7-3 in the last 10 games. They're playing some good baseball. Then you got Cincinnati, 6 out, so they're still in the money. And then over in my National League West, my LA Dodgers got a 12-game lead up on Arizona. Remember now, but a month ago, we were in third place. People were teasing me. We're in first place now, 12 games up, third best record in baseball, I guess. The Diamondbacks are 12, the Giants are 13.5. But when you look over to the wild card, the three division leaders, Atlanta, the Dodgers, and the Brewers, all the first place teams. The 3 wild card teams right now is the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Diamondbacks. The Giants are a game and a half. The Reds are a game and a half. The Marlins are 3 back, and the Padres 8 back, with the Nationals 8 back. So this is not quite over yet. And then you look in the American League, you get Baltimore, Seattle, and Minnesota there. Then you got the wild card is Tampa Bay, which is 6 games. Tampa Bay, the Rangers and the Astros will be the wild card teams. Then you get the Blue Jays, which 2.5 back, the Red Sox 4.5. And we took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox this weekend. Justin turned out a couple of home runs, though. It's good to see the Red Bad. And then the Angels 10.5 back. So you still got the Red Sox and the Blue Jays still in the money there. And then over in the National League, you still got a whole slew of players. The Marlins, the Reds, and the Giants are still in the money there. So baseball is on this next 30 to 32 games going to be really important in terms of jockeying. The Dodgers are 4 games in the win column behind Atlanta for the best record in baseball. So they're battling for that. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be real interesting to see. We're going to take a break soon. But before we do it, we're going to take a look at our picks. When we come back, we've got our final 12. I think it's Rich. Is it Rich I got? Or is it Colin? Who I got today? Hey, Mr. Benuso, we got today. Is it Rich or Colin? We got the Herd, Colin Herd, the Herd. He's going to be talking about Trey Lance. The trade for Trey Lance was a good business for the Cowboys and the 49ers. Who were the winners? I think Trey Lance is the winner in that trade. And I think the 49ers are the losers in that trade. Some tell me they can realize later on this season, wow, we got rid of him. We should have never lost him. We should have never lost him. So it's going to be because, look at them. They went through 4 quarterbacks last year. They went through a bunch of quarterbacks last year, but to the point in the game, they had, I think, the running back and the running back taking snaps because they got so many injuries. So anything is possible. So let's take a look at our picks. Brought to you by Island Games. So we're going to give you who to pick, and remember, gamble responsibly. Island Games, you have a great parlay for football coming up for the NFL season. So make sure you get into that there. We want to thank our sponsors, KFC, Tropical Gyros, Dunkin' Donuts for the help and the love they've shown us. We really appreciate it. So what we got tonight? We got the Arizona Diamondbacks at the LA Dodgers tonight. I like the Dodgers in that one. The Angels and the Phillies. I like the Phillies in this one. This is an interesting game. The New York Yankees at the Detroit Tigers. New York in last place, Detroit in 3rd place. I like the Yankees tonight. The Orioles and the White Sox, I like the White Sox. Let's see. The Cubs and the Brewers is going to be a good game. I'm going to stay away from that. But I like the Braves over the Rockies tonight. And I like the Reds over the Giants tonight. We'll take a quick look at the WNBA. This is going to be a great game tonight. The Las Vegas Aces, the defending champs, going to play my New York Liberty, Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty. 2 best teams in the WNBA tonight in New York at 7 o'clock. They've already played 4 times. They've split 2-2. I like the Liberty tonight. I like the Liberty to take it tonight. I always like the Liberty to take it because I put in hard for Jonquel. So just before we go, let's read these couple of texts here. Zeke is New England. Zeke in New England, what do you think he will fare? What do you think the Broncos will do this year on offense and defense? Zeke has become to the world as a short-term running back, short yardage running back. New England ain't gonna get that close to the end zone that often, so I don't know if he'll be that effective for New England. But it's a new place; it may be a breath of fresh air. The Broncos. A lot of people don't like the Broncos. They don't think Russell Wilson is doing well. I think they're going to be a lot better. My Kansas City fan said 7 wins is a lot. I think they'll probably do 8 wins, 9 wins maybe. I'm not going to sleep on them. Ask me that question again after a week when I'll be able to answer that. The defense is going to be solid. I'm not too sure about their offense. I just don't get it. I don't know. And don't be surprised if Sean Payton sits Russell Wilson. Do not be surprised on that. Well, folks, that's it for today. We're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we'll have called the Herd talking about Trey Lance, the trade to the Dallas Cowboys. Was it good for Dallas, or was it even better for the 49ers? It's been a great Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Naughty will be back tomorrow. This has been Pearly holding on for Naughty on Talking Heads at Guardian Radio. Be good. If you can't be good, at least be good at it. Take care.
Get
a flavor explosion that'll satisfy all your bacon cravings. The KFC Sweetened Smoky Bacon Sandwich from the fried chicken experts features 2 crispy strips of bacon on a premium 100% white meat chicken filet, layered with 2 slices of cheese, smoky chipotle mayo, and our secret surprise, sweet bacon jam, all stacked on a buttery brioche bun. Experience the sweet and smoky explosion today, as it's here for a limited time. KFC Sweetened Smoky Bacon Sandwich. It's finger-licking good.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Put your best foot forward this school year by shopping at John's for your back-to-school foot care needs. From toddlers to college students, have your child looking smart in a pair of Hush Puppies, Sperry, Easy Strider brand styles, and many more. Durable and sharp, the kids will step with confidence all year. Need socks and a belt? We've got you covered. And don't forget a new backpack and lunch containers. You can find all this and more at the best prices and customer service in town at John's on Rosetta Street and Carmichael Road. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Ready for something very delicious this summer? Introducing the new Dunkin' Strawberry Cheesecake Iced Latte. Enjoy the bold flavors of Dunkin' Espresso and sweet, luscious strawberry, all topped with velvety whipped cream and irresistible cookie crumbles for a match made in latte heaven. Make Dunkin' Strawberry Cheesecake Iced Latte your go-to beverage this summer. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This trade is not surprising because the Dallas Cowboys are a really well-run organization. And I know because Jerry has the funny quotes and because they are in a 28-year drought of not making the conference championship game, and we look at it, oh, they wanted to draft Johnny Manziel, and Jerry gets in the draft. Look at this team over the last half decade. Look at this team since they gave Zeke that contract extension. What's their worst move? What have they done poorly? And taking a player who was a consensus first-round pick, who ended up going number 3, and getting him for what will end up being about the 120th pick of the draft, with 2 years of control to be able to have him in your building to see what he can become, is good business. And the Dallas Cowboys, the playoff failures notwithstanding, they do good business. Listen, I am not a big Cowboys fan. There are a lot of folks out there that are well known, either Cowboys, I don't even want to say hater, but Cowboy detractor or Cowboys superfan. I'm none of the above. But I can call it as I see it and look at the Cowboys roster. Go to their spot rack page if you really want to get nerdy about it. Show me the bad contract. Look at their draft history over the last 5 years. Show me the team that conclusively has done better than them. Show me the move they've made that you're like, well, that's idiot. There isn't one. And trading for Trey Lance because of what it allows you to do in a potential Dak Prescott negotiation. More on that in a moment. Because of what you are buying low at the absolute nadir for a player that at one point everyone agreed was a first-round pick. Most people thought was going to go somewhere in the top 15. It wasn't as if the Niners were the only team that liked this player coming out of North Dakota State. That's good football business. Now, it's good business. It does seem to have left your franchise quarterback a bit nonplussed. Okay, so Dak didn't need a heads up because Trey Lance is not competing with Dak Prescott. Certainly not this year, maybe not ever. But here is why I would imagine that, because you could see in the very beginning when he was like, not surprised by anything. Now, maybe it's because he liked Will Grier so much. But maybe it's also because Dak, who is a savvy guy, a smart guy, and has played the NFL business world about as well, maybe better than he's played the actual on-field world. Here is why I think the Trey Lance move does impact Dak Prescott. And again, I apologize for this early in the morning out west or early afternoon out east to get into contract stuff. But Dak is the Cowboys are in an odd spot with Dak with 2 years left on his deal. And the reason is because Dak's agent smartly got the Cowboys to include in his contract, the last one, a no-tag provision, which means Dak Prescott 1 year from now is going to be in as strong of a position as any quarterback, honestly, in modern NFL history from a negotiating standpoint. Dak Prescott 1 year from now is going to be able to tell the Cowboys, this is the exact contract I want. What will undoubtedly be the biggest contract in NFL history. And if you don't give it to me, I will play out the following year and then be an untaggable, free and clear free agent at 31 years old. And people say what they want about Dak Prescott. There are not 10 quarterbacks alive better than him. And quarterbacks at that age simply do not hit free agency. And when they do, a poor man's version of Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins did once upon a time, has gotten 3 consecutive fully guaranteed deals. 1 in free agency, 2 via extension. You know why? Because the Vikings can't tag him and because he's had all the leverage. So what this Trey Lance move does, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you see how he plays. You see how he looks in practice. You see if you create a little package for him by midseason or later to add more of a quarterback running game wrinkle. Kyle Shanahan, a brilliant play designer. The Niners have done a wonderful job in later rounds of the draft finding talent. The Niners have as stacked of a roster as any team in the league. All of that's true. This is also true. For 6 consecutive years, the 49ers have botched the handling of the most important position in sports. It has arguably already cost them a Super Bowl or 2, and it might cost them another 1 or 2 potential ones down the road. Here's what we know. No team in the common draft era has gotten less out of a top 5 pick than the Niners got out of Trey Lance. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. As far as snaps played, games played, no top 5 pick last 50 years of the NFL draft has provided less for the team that drafted him than Trey Lance with the Niners. We know that. We also know the San Francisco 49ers have been haphazard at best when it comes to what they want, what they need from a quarterback. They are now trying to sell us the idea that, well, we just want someone who won't crash the car. We just need a caretaker. We can use a guy in Brock Purdy who we loved so much. We had 3 separate 6th-round picks in his draft, passed on him all 3 times. A guy we loved so much that not only was he not in contention to start last year, but after locking Jimmy Garoppolo out of the building, we sheepishly brought Jimmy Garoppolo back in the building because we didn't even trust Brock Purdy to be our backup quarterback. A player we love so much that we didn't have any reason to believe he could play until we had no choice but to play him. And now we are going to pretend as if he didn't just have massive surgery on his throwing arm when physical limitations were already the reason he was going to be an undrafted player for all other teams in the league. And for us, we took him the last pick. But set the Brock Purdy stuff aside. Here has been since Shanahan and Lynch have taken over in San Francisco. Here is what has been their path on the quarterback situation. They are sitting in 2017 with the number 2 pick of the draft. They do not scout Patrick Mahomes. They barely scout Deshaun Watson. And why was that? Because everyone assumed, I think correctly, that they had their eyes on Kirk Cousins, who was going to be a free agent a year later. They end up trading back one spot, drafting Solomon Thomas, who, of course, is no longer on the San Francisco 49ers. They then later in that first round draft Reuben Foster, and we are off and running. They then get anxious and antsy, can't wait for Kirk Cousins, trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, see 5 games of Jimmy Garoppolo and say, you know what? Forget the money we were going to spend on Cousins. We'll make you the highest paid player in the league. They then immediately fall out of love with Jimmy Garoppolo, but not far enough out of love to get involved in the Tom Brady sweepstakes in 2020. They then, in 2021, decide, you know what? We are fully done with Jimmy Garoppolo. We are going to trade all these draft picks, move up to number 3 to draft. We don't know. You remember the reporting there? Who are they taking at 3? We know Trevor's going 1. We know Zach's going 2. Is it Mac Jones? Is it Justin Fields? Is it Trey Lance? They couldn't have traded up without knowing who they were taking, but all the reporting was that is exactly what happens. They then take the rawest player ever to be taken in the top 5 of the NFL draft, a guy who had played 1 year of Division II college football because they believed in the upside. His rookie season, he got 2 starts, played well in one, played poorly in another. That was enough for them at the end of that year, after another trip to the NFC Championship game, to say, he's our starter moving forward. They then, that offseason, reportedly, had another opportunity to pursue Tom Brady. Nope, we don't want to. We are invested in Trey Lance. Saw him all offseason. He's our starter. Saw him all preseason. He's our starter. He then played 1 game in a monsoon and half a quarter in the next game and broke his leg. And before he could practice again, they were shopping him. He was on the trade market in February. Where is the consistent, logical approach to the quarterback position? You don't need a great player at quarterback? Then what are you doing trading 3 1s for Trey Lance? You do need a great player at quarterback? Then what are you doing? Forget Brock Purdy beating out Lance. So be it. I'm not a quarterback wins guy. The Niners didn't seem to be quarterback wins people when they told Jimmy Garoppolo, your Super Bowl appearance, your NFC Championship game appearance, not enough. We're done with you here. But with Brock Purdy, they want to be quarterback wins guys. So be it. That's fine. Purdy's the starter. What is the rationale to saying Sam Darnold, we're going to say you could be Steve Young and we're going to value you more than this player we took number 3 overall? This player who's thrown 420 passes since high school. This player that we knew was a developmental project, that we knew was raw. What is the logic to saying, even if you believe deep down, all right, if something were to happen to Brock and he were to be out 2 months, we'd probably quickly go to Darnold. Why would you not name Lance your backup? Just to keep him in the building, just to keep him attached to the team. And the answer there is that everyone has said, well, he practiced so terribly. He looked so bad. And that's when I go back to the timeline. When were these terrible practices? When did he look so bad? Because last offseason, through practice and preseason, you named him your starter. He then played, albeit terribly, in that first game of the year against the Bears, but it was a monsoon. The next game, he broke his leg. You were then a dislocated ankle. When was it that you went from all the way in to all the way out? Oh, it was when Brock Purdy showed us he can be the quarterback of the future. So be it. But it's not about Purdy versus Lance. It's about Sam Darnold and his 55 career starts of terrible play. Him over Lance. And if you look at the San Francisco 49ers, you must square the circle of amazing talent, brilliant play design, contenders every year, and they may have not only blown this window because of the quarterback position, not getting it right and not having a consistent approach.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe